Katrine, I found another.
Oh, you'll find plenty more.
Hasn't the girl? Hasn't she been to get the glass man yet?
Yes, he said he didn't know if he'd be able to come today. Perhaps afraid to come because of the neighbors.
You'll see he daren't come.
Here's a letter for you, Thomas.
Oh, let's see.
Who's it
Aha! Yeah, it's from the landlord. He gives us notice.
from? Oh, is it possible such a nice man as that?
He daren't do otherwise, he says. He's very loath to do it, but he daren't do otherwise. Out of respect for public opinion, doesn't dare offend certain influential men.
There, you see, Thomas?
Yes, I see well enough. They're all cowards. Every one of them in this town. No one dares do anything for fear of all the rest. But I mean, it's all the same to us, Katrine. We'll be off to the new world, and then.
Are you sure this idea of going abroad is wise, Thomas?
Would you have me stay here, where they've pilloried me as an enemy of the people, branded me, smashed my windows? Look, Katrine, look, they've torn a hole in my trousers.
Oh dear. And your best ones, too.
Yeah, I've never put on your best trousers to go out and battle for freedom and truth. Of course, I don't care about the trousers. You can always patch them up for me. But that the mob would dare to attack me, as if they were my equals, that's what I can't stomach for the life of me.
Yes, they behaved abominably, Thomas. But is that any reason for leaving the country altogether?
Do you think the rabble aren't just as insolent in the other towns? Oh, yes, they are. My dear, they're pretty much the same everywhere. Ah, never mind. Let the curs snap. That's not the worst. The worst is that everyone all over the country is the slave of his party. Not that I said, very likely it's no better in the free West either. If I only knew of some primeval jungle or a little South Sea island to be sold cheap.
Yes, but the children, Thomas.
What an extraordinary woman you are, Katrine. Would you prefer the children grow up in such a society as this? You saw yourself yesterday evening, half the population is stark mad, and if the other half hasn't lost its reason, it's because they're mongrels without any reason to lose.
Really, Thomas, you do say such imprudent things.
Well, isn't it the truth? Don't they turn all ideas of right and wrong upside down? Lies and facts. I mean, did you ever hear anything like it, Katrine?
Yes, no doubt it's completely wrong. But, back from school already?
Yes, I've been dismissed.
Dismissed?
You too.
Mrs. Busk gave me notice, so I thought it best to leave there and then.
That's right, my girl.
Who would have thought Mrs. Busk such a bad penny?
Oh, Mother, Mrs. Busk isn't bad at all. I saw how much it pained her. But she didn't dare do otherwise, she said, and so I'm dismissed.
She dared not do otherwise. Oh, just like the rest. Oh, this is delicious.
Oh, well, after the frightful uproar last night...
It wasn't only that. What do you think, Father?
Well?
Mrs. Busk showed me no fewer than 3 letters she had received this morning.
Anonymous, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, they never have the courage to give their names, Katrine.
And 2 of them said a man who's often at our house said at the club last night that I held extremely advanced opinions on things.
Oh, of course you didn't deny it.
Of course not. You know, Mrs. Busk herself is pretty advanced in her opinions when we're alone together. But now this has come out about me, she dared not keep me on.
Someone often at our house, too. There, you see, Thomas, what comes of all your hospitality?
We won't live any longer in such a sty. Pack up as quick as you can, Katrine. Let's get away. The sooner, the better.
Shh. I think there's someone at the hallway. Just see, Petra.
Oh. Is it you, Captain Horster? Please come in.
Good morning. I thought I must look in and see how you're getting on.
Thanks. That's very good of you.
Thanks for the escort home last night, Captain Horster.
How did you ever get back again?
Oh, that was all right. You know, I'm pretty strong, and their bark is worse than their bite.
Isn't it marvelous, this piggish cowardice? Come here, I want to show you something. Look, here are the stones they threw in at us, mostly gravel. They stood down there and yelled and swore they'd do me an injury. But as for really doing it, no, there's little fear of that in this town.
You may thank your stars for that this once, Doctor.
So I do, of course, but it's depressing too. I mean, if it ever came to a serious national struggle, you'd see public opinion would be for taking to its heels. The majority would scamper for their lives like a flock of sheep, Captain Horster. I mean, it grieves me to the heart. But by heaven, it's foolish to think anything of the sort. They've called me an enemy of the people. Well then, I'll be an enemy of the people.
That you'll never be, Thomas.
Don't bet on it, Katrina. Bad name can fester, same as a tiny scratch. And that desperate phrase, I can't get rid of it. It's sunk deep in my heart. It's gnawing and sucking like acid.
You should only laugh at them, Father.
People will think differently yet, Doctor.
Yes, Thomas. Sure as you're standing here.
Perhaps when it's too late. Well, they make their beds, so they must lie in them. Let them go on wallowing here in the mire and learn to repent having driven a patriot into exile. When do you sail, Captain?
That's really what I came here to speak to you about.
Something wrong with the ship?
No, but the fact is, I'm not going with it.
But surely you've not been dismissed.
Yes, I have.
You too?
There you see, Thomas.
And for the sake of the truth, if I could have imagined.
Don't take it to heart, Doctor. I shall soon get a berth with a better company elsewhere.
This is Mr. Vick, a wealthy man, independent of anyone. Good heavens.
Well, for that matter, he's well-meaning. He says he had gladly kept me on if he dared.
Yeah, but he didn't dare, of course not.
It isn't easy, he says, when you belong to a party.
Ah, my keen friend, you've hit it right there. A party is like a sausage machine. It grinds all the brains together in one big mash.
No, really, Thomas.
If only you hadn't seen us home, perhaps it wouldn't have come to this.
I don't regret it.
Thank you for that.
What I wanted to say to you, if you're really determined to go abroad, I've thought of another way.
Good. If only we can get off.
Isn't that a knock?
Surely that's Uncle.
Come in.
My dear Thomas, now do for once promise me you'll...
You're engaged. Well, then I'd better...
No. Come in.
But I wanted to speak with you alone.
We'll go into the sitting room.
And I'll look in presently.
No. Go in with the ladies, Captain Horster. I must hear more.
All right, then. I'll wait.
Perhaps you find it a bit drafty here today. Put on your cap.
Thanks. If I may, I guess I caught a cold yesterday evening. I stood there shivering.
Oh, really? On my soul, I found it warm enough.
I regret it was not in my power to prevent these nocturnal excesses.
Have you anything in particular to say to me?
I have this document for you from the director of the baths.
I'm dismissed?
Yes, from today. We're very sorry, but frankly, we dared not do otherwise on account of public opinion.
Dared not! I've heard that phrase already today.
I beg you to realize your position clearly. For the future, you can't count on any sort of practice in town.
And the devil may take the practice. But how are you so sure of that?
The Householders Association is sending round a circular, house to house, in which all well-disposed citizens are called upon to not employ you. And I'd wager not a single head of household will venture to refuse their signature They simply dare not.
I don't doubt that. But what else, Peter?
I might advise you. I'd say leave town for a time.
Yes, I've been thinking of leaving this town.
Oh, good, good. And when 6 months or so have elapsed, if after mature deliberation you could make up your mind to acknowledge your error with a few words of regret.
Might be reinstated, you think?
Well, perhaps. Yeah, it's not out of the question.
Yeah, but how about public opinion? And you dare not, eh? On account of public opinion?
Opinion is an extremely variable commodity, and to speak candidly, it's of great importance for us to have such an admission in your own hand.
Then you may whistle for it. Surely you remember what I've said before about such backroom tricks.
At that time, your position was infinitely more favorable. At that time, you thought you had the whole town at your back.
Yes, and now I've the whole town on my back. But no, not if I had the devil and his dam on my back. Never. Never. I tell you, never.
The father of a family has no right to act like this. You've no right to, Thomas.
I have no right. There's only one thing in the world that a free man has no right to do. Do you know what that is?
No.
Of course not. But I'll tell you, a free man has no right to wallow in filth. Like some gutter mongrel, he has no right to spit in his own face.
Plausible enough. And if there were not another explanation for your obstinance, but we all know there is.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, you understand me. But as your brother and as a man of common sense, I warn you not to build too confidently upon prospects and expectations that may very likely come to nothing.
What on earth are you driving at?
You really want me to believe you're ignorant of the terms of old Keel's will?
I know the little he has is to go to a home for old and needy workmen. What's that got to do with me?
Well, to begin with, the little he has is no trifle. He's a tolerably wealthy man.
I've never had the least notion of that.
Really? Then I suppose you had no notion that a not inconsiderable part of his fortune is to go to your children, you and your wife, having a lifelong trusteeship in it? Hasn't he told you that?
No, on my soul. On the contrary, he's done nothing but grumble because he's so preposterously overtaxed. Are you really sure of this, Peter?
I have it from a thoroughly trustworthy source.
I think, good heavens. Then Katrine's safe. And the children. I must tell her, Katrine!
Oh, no,
Katrine!
stop. Don't say anything about it yet.
What is it?
Nothing, my dear. Go in again. Provided for. Think all of them provided for and for life. It's a blessed feeling to know you're secure.
Yes, but that's just what you're not. Keel can revoke his will any day or hour that he chooses.
Yeah, but he won't, my good Peter. The badger is only too delighted to see me attack you and your slippery friends.
Well, that throws a new light on a good many things.
What things?
So the whole affair has been a carefully concocted intrigue. Your reckless, your violent onslaught in the name of truth upon the leading men of the town.
Well, what of it?
It was nothing but a premeditated kickback for vindictive old Keel's will.
Peter, you're the most abominable lowlife I've ever known.
All is over between us. Your dismissal is irrevocable. For now, we have a weapon against you.
Shame. Shame! Shame! Katrine! The floor must be scrubbed after him. Tell her to come here with a pail. Ugh. What's her name? Blast it, the girl with the sooty nose.
Thomas,
Father, grandfather's here. He wants to speak with you alone.
Yes, of course he can. Come in, father-in-law. Well, what is it? Please sit down.
I won't sit down. Looks cheerful in here today.
Yes, doesn't it?
Sure enough, it does. And plenty of fresh air, too. You've surely got enough of that oxygen you were talking about yesterday. You'll have an awfully good conscience today, I should think.
Yes, I have.
So I suppose. Do you know what I've got here?
A good conscience, too, I hope.
No, something far better than that.
Shares in the baths?
They weren't hard to pick up today.
You've gone and
With
bought
every
these
penny
up?
I had to spare.
Dear man, just when the baths are in such dreadful shape.
Well, if you behave like a reasonable creature, the baths will soon be all right again.
Look, you can see for yourself I'm doing all I can, but the people in this town are mad.
You said yourself that the worst filth came from my tannery. Now, if that's true, my grandfather and my father before me, and I myself have for all these years been poisoning the town like 3 destroying angels. Do you think I'll sit quiet under such condemnation?
I'm sad to say you can't help it.
No, thank you. I mean to stand up for my good name. I've heard that people call me the Badger. Well, a badger's a sort of pig, I guess, scrabbling in the dirt. But I want to turn their tawdry lie back upon them. I will live and die clean.
And how will you manage that?
You shall make me clean, Stockman.
I?
Do you know what money I bought these shares with? No, you can't know, but I'll tell you. It's the money Katrine and Petra and the children are to have after my death. For you see, I've laid something by after all.
You've taken Katrine's money for this?
Yes, all of it is invested in the baths as of this morning. Now I want to see if you're really stark, staring, mad Stockman. If you go on making out that these tiny beasts or other filthy things dribble down from my tannery, it will be just as if you were to whip broad stripes into Katrine's skin, and Petra's, and the children. No decent father would ever do that unless he were a madman.
Yes, but I am a madman. I am a madman.
You surely can't be so raving mad where your wife and children are concerned.
Why couldn't you have spoken to me before you went and bought all this complete junk?
What's done can't be undone.
Oh, God. If only I wasn't so sure of this. But how could I be otherwise?
If you stick to your madness, these aren't worth very much anymore.
But surely science must be able to find some antidote, some
Do you mean
preventative.
something to kill the little bugs?
Yes, or at least to make them harmless.
Well, what about rat poison?
Oh, no, that's idiotic nonsense. But since everyone says it's nothing but imagination, let it be my own twisted madness. Let them have their way. Haven't the ignorant, narrow-hearted dogs reviled me as an enemy of the people? Weren't they about to tear my clothes off my back?
And smashed all your windows to boot?
Yeah, but then I've a duty to my family. Oh, my God. I must talk it over with Katrine. Her judgment is so steady in such matters.
That's right. You just follow the advice of a sensible woman.
Well, this is preposterous. Stalking Katrine's money and getting me into this hell? I look at you like I look at the devil incarnate.
Well, then I must be off. But I must hear from you, yes or no, by 2 o'clock. If it's no, all the shares go to charity. And that this very day.
And what does Katrine get?
Not a rap. Hello. Look at these two.
They dare to come here?
Why, of course we do.
You see, we have something to say to you.
Yes or no by 2 o'clock.
Ah.
Well, what do you want? Be brief.
I can easily understand you might resent our conduct at the meeting yesterday.
Your conduct? Yes. It was handsome conduct. I call it misconduct. Old-fashioned cowardice.
Well, call it what you will, but we could not have acted otherwise.
You dared not to, right? I suppose, isn't that so?
Yes, if you want to put it that way.
But why didn't you let us in on the secret beforehand? Just the merest hint to me or to Mr. Hofstad.
What secret?
About what's at the bottom of all this.
I don't in the least understand you.
Yes, you do, Dr. Stockman.
You needn't try to keep up the charade, Doctor.
What the devil? What?
May I ask, isn't your father-in-law going around town buying up all the shares in the baths?
Yes, he's buying up shares today.
It
But
would have been more prudent to let somebody else do that. Someone not so closely connected with you.
And then wouldn't have appeared in the matter under your own name. No one needed to have known the attack on the baths came from you. You should have taken me into your confidence, Dr. Stockman.
is this possible? Can such things be?
It's plain enough they can, but they ought to be managed delicately, if you catch my drift.
And other people in it. Responsibility always falls more lightly when shared with others.
One word, gentlemen. What is it you want?
Mr. Hofstad can best...
Now, you explain, Aslaxon.
Well, it's this. Now that we know how the matter really stands, we believe we can venture to place the People's Messenger at your disposal.
Oh, you can venture to now, eh? But how about public opinion? Aren't you afraid of bringing down a storm of controversy?
We must manage to ride out the storm.
And you must keep all your wits about you, Doctor. As soon as your attack has produced its effect.
As soon as my father-in-law and I have bought up the shares at a discount, you mean?
No doubt it's mainly on scientific grounds. You want to take the management of the baths into your own hands.
Yeah, of course it was on scientific grounds. I set the old badger to work. And then we'll tinker up the waterworks a little, fiddle about a little down at the beach, without it costing the town a penny. You think that'll do, huh?
I think so. If you have the messenger back you up.
In a free society, the press is a power, Doctor.
Yes, indeed, yes. And so is public opinion. And you, Mr. Aslaxon, I suppose you'll be answerable for the Householders Association.
Oh, both the Householders Association and the Temperance Society. You may rely on it.
But gentlemen, I'm a little abashed to mention such a thing, but what return?
Look, of course, we'd love to give you the support for sheer goodwill, but the messenger is not so firmly established as yet. Not moving forward as it ought to. I'd be sorry to close the paper now when there's so much to be done politically.
And naturally, that would be very hard for a friend of the people like you. But I am an enemy of the people. Where's my stick? Where the devil's my stick?
What do you mean?
Surely you don't mean to...
And suppose I don't give you a red cent out of all my shares? You must remember, we rich folk don't like parting with our money.
And you must remember that this business of the shares can be represented in two ways.
Oh, yes, you're the man for that. If I don't come to the rescue of the messenger, you'll manage to put a vile complexion on the whole affair. You'll hunt me down, bait me, try to throttle me like a hound at a rabbit's throat.
A natural law, every animal
And
fights.
see if you can't find something tasty in the gutter. For now, by heaven, we'll see which is the strongest animal of us three. Now, let's see.
Well, you surely don't mean
Hey
to
now,
assault
take
us.
care of that
Hey,
umbrella.
out the window with you, Mr. Hofstad.
Have you gone flat berserk?
Out the window, Mr. Aslaxon. Jump, or else.
Operation, Doctor. I'm delicate. I can't stand much. Help! Help!
Good heavens, Thomas, whatever's the matter?
Jump, I tell you, out in the gutter.
An unprovoked assault? I call you to witness, Captain Horster.
If one only knew the local situation.
Restrain yourself, Thomas.
On my soul. They've all gotten away.
What did they want with you?
I'll catch up with you in a bit. Just now, I've got some other things to consider. Look here, Katrine, what's written on this calling card?
3 big no's. What does that mean?
That too you'll learn before long. There, Petra, let the what's it girl run to the Badgers with us as fast as she can. Quick, quick! Well, if I haven't had visits today from all the emissaries of hell! But now I'll dip my pen in venom and gall, sharpen it till it turns harpoon, and hurl epithets straight at their skulls.
Yes, but aren't we going away, Thomas?
Well,
Done.
good. Going away, you say? No. I'll be damned if we do. We stay where we are, Katrine.
Stay?
Here in the town?
Yes, here. The field of battle is here. Here, the fight must be fought. Here, I will conquer. As soon as my trousers are mended, I'll go out into town and look for a house. We'll need to have a roof over our heads for the winter.
That you can have with me.
Can I?
Yes, indeed you can. I've room enough, and besides, I'm hardly ever at home.
Oh, how kind of you, Horster.
Thank you.
Thanks. So, that's off my mind. And this very day, I shall set to work in earnest. Oh, there's a rare piece of work to be done here, Katrine. It's a good thing. My time's at my own discretion now, because I've had notice from the baths.
Oh, yes, I was expecting that.
Now they want to take away my practice as well. Let them. The poor I'll keep. Those that can't pay, and good Lord, it's they that need me most. But by heaven, I'll make them hear me. I'll preach to those officious numbskulls in season, out of season.
I
As
think you've
it's-
seen what good preaching does, Thomas.
You're being ridiculous, Katrine. Am I to let myself be beaten off the path by public opinion and the illiberal majority and such devil knows what? No, thank you. Beside my point is so simple, so straightforward. I just want to drive home to these sad, dependent souls that those who force these fraudulent ideas into their empty heads are the worst foes of freedom. Money, power, backroom, expediency, self-serving manipulation of fact. These shameless party leaders that just turn justice and morality upside down. And the glorious people, nearsighted. No, hindsighted. If they can't learn that, they're doomed to be no more than these docile homebodies, gullible subscribers to the people's messenger, lemmings awaiting the call. hideous. Well, Captain Horster, do you think I'll be able to make the people understand that?
Perhaps. I don't know much about these things myself.
Just come here, Katrine. See how bravely the sun shines today, and how the blessed, fresh spring air blows upon me.
Yes, if only we could live on sunshine and spring air, Thomas.
Well, you'll have to pinch and save where you can, and we'll get on all right. That's my least concern. Now, what does trouble me is that I don't see anyone with the independence, the integrity to dare take up this work with me.
Oh, don't bother about that, Father. You have time on your side. And look, somehow here are the children. So soon?
Have you been given a holiday today?
No, but we had a fight with the other kids at recess.
That's not true. The others fought with us.
Yes, then Mr. Rowland said we best stay home for a few days.
Now I have it. Now I have it on my soul. You shall never go to school again.
Thomas.
Never go to school?
Never, never. I say I'll teach you myself. That is, I won't teach you a blessed thing.
Yay, oh!
But I'll help you become strong young people, high-minded, forward-thinking, truly free. Look, you'll have to help me, Petra.
Yes, Father, you may be sure I will.
And we'll have our school in the same room where they reviled me as an enemy of the people. But we'll need more students, at least 12 young sprouts to start.
You'll never get them in this town.
Oh, that we shall see. Do you know of any of those ragtag street kids?
Yes, Father, I know lots.
Great. Bring me a few of them. It'll be a fine experiment. There are sometimes excellent hits among them.
But what'll we do when we've become free and high-minded?
Drive all the wolves out to the frozen wasteland, my dears.
Yeah!
If the wolves don't drive you out first, Thomas.
Have you gone mad, Katrine? Drive me out? I'm the strongest man in the town.
The strongest now.
Yes, I venture to say now I'm one of the strongest men on earth.
Oh, Father.
Quiet now. You can't talk about it just yet. But I've made a great discovery.
What, again?
Yes, certainly. This is what I've discovered. The man who stands alone is the strongest man on earth.
Oh, Thomas.
Father.